All right, Rangers lead the way, gentlemen. Zach Allard here with Security Halt and ORP. So this is going to be a shorter class. It's kind of a foundational class before we move into actual operations and missions such as ambush and raid. We briefly went over Security Halt in our patrol-based class. However, we're going to go a little bit more in depth, and we're going to cover squad size, Security Halts, and ORPs as well. You're going to be operating as a squad in Derby phase, so we got to kind of go over that as well. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Security halts and objective rally points. So the ORP is a point that's out of sight, sound, and small arms range of the objective, and it's normally located in the direction the platoon plans to move after actions on. The ORP is going to be tentative until the objective is actually pinpointed. So the leader's recon might find that they're either way too close to the objective or not close enough, and they might have to pick up and move and reestablish the ORP either closer or further away from the objective. All right, so this is your squad for Derby. In Derby, you have larger squads than a typical, platoon rifle squad, where it's 9 guys on average. You're gonna have guns attached, and you're gonna have a medic and an RTO, and then you're gonna have about maybe 1 or 2 additional riflemen in each team, depending on how large your squad is. If I recall correctly, they can range from anywhere to 15 to 19 dudes in Derby. So this is kind of how your order of movement's going to look. You have your alpha team obviously out in front, rifleman, grenadier, and then saw gunner, rifleman. And then in the center, you're going to have another wedge with the squad leader at the apex of the wedge, RTO, medic, and then that machine gun team with the machine gun, ammo bearer, and potentially another AG over to here. And then you're going to have your Bravo team, which is going to be obviously, Bravo team leader, automatic rifleman, grenadier, and then any extra rifleman will be on the edges of the wedge. And then obviously direction of travel is going to be, we'll call it north. All right, so this is what your security halt is going to look like as a squad. And we'll come back to that graphic here in a second. So security halt is used to prepare for a leader's recon of an objective rally point, map checks, or for any other reason the squad might have to halt for longer than a few minutes. So if you got a crossload gear, top off water, take a breather if you guys have been walking all day and you're not at the objective yet. And it's typically going to be a circle formation with one team occupying one half of the circle and the other team the other half. And then the machine gun team is going to be placed to cover either the direction the patrol came from or the direction of the objective or another direction that the squad leader deems fit to have a belt fed covering down on. And the security halts for both squad and platoon are going to be conducted beyond sight and sound of the tentative ORP, so 200 to 400 meters during the day, and then 100 to 200 meters at night. And we're going to go back. So again, you've got your alpha team right here, your Bravo team covering the other half of the circle. And the reason that the Bravo team leader and the alpha team leader don't get integrated into the security posture is because they're going to be doing other tasks. They're going to be making sure that they have interlocking sectors of fire, and they're going to be getting the GOTWA from the squad leader. And you don't want to have to constantly be adjusting your security posture if your team leaders are integrated into the security halt. And then obviously your squad, your medic, and your RTO are going to be in the center of the security halt as they, have other tasks to perform that require them to not be on security. So in the security halt, the squad leader is going to prep that leader's recon element, and in this case, it's going to consist of a compass man, a saw gunner, and a grenadier. So that squad leader is going to give the GOTWA to the alpha team leader. He'll be the senior leader in the security halt. They're going to move to the tentative ORP site and physically clear it. Once that squad leader deems that the ORP is good to go, he's going to leave the saw gunner and grenadier at the 6 o'clock position facing opposite directions, and he's going to give them a GOTWA and a compromise plan. That saw gunner and grenadier are going to be in the prone with their legs, interlocked, so they can silently notify one another if they get compromised or if they see an enemy patrol or whatever. Once that's good, the squad leader is going to return to the rest of the squad and guide them into the ORP. And one squad is going to occupy the 3 o'clock through the 12 to the 9, and the other team is going to occupy the 9 o'clock through the 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock. So it's going to look identical to that security halt. And that will do it for our squad size ORP. Moving on to platoon level. So again, this is a refresher on the order of movement that you're going to typically use in Ranger School. So you're going to have your security squad out front, gun 1, Ranger or the headquarters element, which will be your platoon, your FO, your medic, your RTO, gun 2, assault 1, gun 3, assault 2. So this is one version of the security halt you can do. This is the combat football, combat click, combat cigar, or cigar. And security squad doesn't get integrated into the security perimeter because they're typically going to get picked up and immediately move on to the leader's recon. And it just saves time and hassle for the stay behind element in security halt to have to adjust the security posture. So guns at the apexes, and then that third gun is going to cover down any likely area of enemy activity. So if they were like hand railing a road, that gun's going to want to be covering down on that road. So this is, version 2. This is what they teach in Ranger School, but they kind of give you a little bit of freedom to pick how you want to choose and set up your SOPs for security halts. So this is one of the ways they teach it. Security squad is going to be covering down on the apex of this cigar shape with assault 1 and assault 2 on the other legs, if you will, with headquarters in the middle. And then once that platoon leader is ready to move on to the leader's recon, he'll pick up security squad and take them, and then leaving the squad leaders behind to reestablish security. So it's just a lot faster if, assault 1 and assault 2 are already in their positions. They would need to be if, we had security squad at the apex here. It's just a little bit more streamlined. All right, so we'll talk ORP. So platoon is going to establish a security halt in accordance with their SOP, 100 to 200 meters away from the tentative ORP site and 200 to 400 meters during the day. That platoon leader is going to prep the leader's recon to include himself, an FO, 3 ammo bearers or assistant gunners, the Weasel, and the entirety of security squad. Ignore this part here with the saw gunner. That was for the patrol base. And PL is going to issue the GAWA to the platoon sergeant, and the platoon sergeant is going to disseminate the plan to the squad leaders and squad leaders to the squads. So leader's recon is going to move to the tentative ORP site in a squad column fire team wedge. And once the recon patrol reaches the ORP, the PL is going to leave an AB at the tentative 6 o'clock. Security squad is going to spread out online with one AB on the far left and one on the far right. And they're going to clear through that ORP, walking away from the 6 o'clock. So same graphic as the patrol base. So you have your ammo bearer at the 6, tentative 6. Your other ammo bearers on the far left and far right of the security squad. They're going to clear through and leave them at the, the apexes, the 10 o'clock, the 2 o'clock. Assuming there aren't any security threats and assuming that it's a, good site for an ORP, the PL is going to confirm and leave the AB's security squad and the Weasel at the ORP with the GOTWA and compromise plan. And then he's going to return to the rest of the platoon and guide them to the ORP. So it's going to be established the same way as a patrol base, with Assault 1 covering the 6 to the 2 and Assault 2, 6 to the 10. With guns, you're not going to have them on tripod. You're going to keep them on bipod, as they're going to be prepping to go and set up potentially a support by fire or that's where they'd be going, is a support by fire for either raid or ambush. So no need to put them on tripod. And this is how they teach it in the official Ranger handbook. So instead of taking security squad, the PL is just going to take the RTO, Weasel, 3 ABs, a team leader, a saw gunner, and a rifleman. And the ABs are going to get positioned at the 6, 2, and 10s. They're going to clear through with just a smaller amount of dudes. PL is going to leave the Weasel and the ABs with the GOTWA, and then he's going to take that fire team back and get the rest of the platoon, get them to the ORP. So security squad will occupy 10 to the 6 by way of the 6. Assault 1 will be 2 to the 6. Assault 2, 10 to the 6. So actions in the ORP, basically it's just a extended security halt to prepare for a mission. So you're going to be prepping special equipment, reapplying camo if needed. You're going to be silencing equipment, topping off canteens, putting the rucks in the ruck plan, and then preparing the leader's recon element for, either an ambush or a raid. So pretty quick little class here. That's about it. Again, this is just a preparatory and a something that you guys need to know before we move on to squad size ambushes, platoon size ambushes, and raids. So drop any questions you have down below, and I will do my best to answer them. But until next time, catch y'all later.